the graduation ceremony for Bannockburn School's class of 2014. We consider this to be a very special occasion, and we're happy that you're all here with us tonight. As we begin, we'd like to ask you all to please stand for the
pledge. And once again, welcome to the 8th grade graduation ceremony. We're so happy that you could enjoy this evening with us. I was thinking about what to say to this 8th grade class. Over the past many years, I've spoken at 18 different 8th grade graduations to almost 7,000 students. And so it gets a little difficult sometimes to come up with something original, but not this year. With this class, this is different. Over all those years and all those students, this class is the only one that invited me to join them as they danced to All the Single Ladies. So that was new for me, so I thank them for that. That's not all that makes this class memorable, however. This is truly a unique group. They're good people, good students, and you can all be proud of them. Thanks to their hard work, along with help from you as parents and the great Bannockburn staff, they are truly well prepared for high school and beyond. To the Bannockburn class of 2014, congratulations and good luck. We'll miss you, and we know that you will do well in high school and beyond. At this time, I would like to introduce the President of the Board of Education, Dr. Lucy Hammer.
Don't these young ladies look beautiful tonight? You may be wondering who this gift is for. Wrapped with vintage paper, dating back to the wrapping paper sales of my children's era, about 20 years ago. This gift is for you, our graduates. A picture is worth 1,000 words, and a picture of a gift is worth 1,000 more. Instead of speaking all those words, I decided to use this gift as...
At this time, I'd like to introduce you to two of our student council officers, Christian Reichenbach and Alexander Bach.
Good evening. Thank you for coming to our graduation. We wish to thank our administrators, Dr. Herman, Ms. Barnes, and Ms. O'Rourke. Our 9 years at Bannockburn have helped shape us into the confident class of 2014. We are more than ready now to move on to Deerfield High School. 7 of the 12 class members have been together at Bannockburn since kindergarten, including Alexander and myself.
Ms. Neerheim's kindergarten class holds many fond memories. Since our very first days, our class was ready to learn and make long-lasting friendships. The saying, "Don't judge a book by its cover," was not clear to us 5-year-olds. On the first day of school, I was the proud owner of a new Darth Vader backpack. What I didn't realize was when Christian saw my backpack, he thought I was going to be mean, because Darth Vader wasn't exactly a nice guy. Kindergarten logic means the kind of backpack you choose represents the type of person you are. The happy days of kindergarten had to end, and the idea of homework and full days of school became a reality. First grade was the year our class got to know what school is all about. Besides more work, first grade came with many memories, especially of our teacher, Miss Tierno. We remember her, or helping her search for her glasses to find only that they were sitting on top of her head the entire time. First grade was when our skills in reading, especially, were greatly enhanced. As we read, our class constructed a bookworm from paper links. Every time we read a book, the bookworm would expand, and by the end of the year, it coiled around the room. One can only imagine how long the bookworm would be today if we continued the practice.
By the end of first grade, we were adjusted to lower school life and ready to move on to second grade. Our teacher, Miss Walker, introduced us to the spelling test. She also showed us how to have fun while doing math, which leads me to marvel at the thought that math once was considered fun. I know everyone will remember reading Edward Tulane with Miss Walker, and it's hard to say goodbye to her as she moved away to Utah at the end of the school year.
In third grade, Sydney had joined our class, and we all learned that we could handle anything that school can challenge us with. That is, except a cute little chipmunk. This adorable creature had managed to enter the school and find its way to Miss Bentley's third grade classroom, where it decided to take a stroll into the reading room. Startling everyone, its arrival caused Miss Bentley to jump on her chair squeak. Luckily, Mr. Whitman was around and came to the rescue and saved us all from the unwelcome beast. Best of all was the way Miss Bentley gave our spelling test. All we had to do was ask, Miss Bentley, how do you spell that? And without hesitation, she would begin spelling the word. Miss Bentley, we are glad that you're here tonight to celebrate our graduation. And we are glad that Mr. Whitman is seated close by, just in case.
In fourth grade, our class was expanded by 2 new students, Ryan and James. I don't think any of us will forget the first time that Jamil met Ryan and asked, "Are you the kid with the accent?" We now know that Jamil is referring to Jimmy Johnson, who arrived sporting an English accent. That year, everyone in the class learned a new skill, our how-to essays and demonstrations. Mr. Voss was so patient and pleased with us as we learned and then taught how to make a smoothie, how to cast a fishing pole, or how to draw a dog. No doubt Mr. Voss is confident that we will learn how to navigate high school.
Who knew that 5th grade would include ziplining, rock climbing, and building shelters? Well, our class hadn't a clue what our outdoor adventure would be like. But we were shocked at the great adventure that outdoor ed had proved to be. In the morning, we'd stare at James Johnson as he consumed a tower of waffles stacked on his plate, and marveled at the wonder of how he could consume that many waffles. In the evening, we would go ziplining, and Johnny gave us a special sound effect of da-da-da-da-da-da, Batman! as he zipped down the line. At night, Mr. Vincent would take us down to the Jack, which is a huge gymnasium where we played Gold Rush and basketball. Miss Wilson, we thank you for the magical and memorable 5th grade year.
At the end of 5th grade, we traded in our desks for lockers and traveled from one teacher to another. At the beginning of 6th grade, we welcomed Sky to the class. Now in upper school, we had the option of joining the basketball team, and many of us did just that. Who could forget the time Ryan got the ball and sang a 3-pointer, and no one was more surprised than him. As you can imagine, the crowd went crazy. As upper schoolers, we were introduced to many new teachers like Miss Goldberg, Mr. Pinella, Miss Brasto, aka Miss Corello, and we carried with us crazy stories from our 6th grade year.
In 7th grade, Jimmy Fupas joined the class, and who could guess that this year would be filled with surprises? Who knew that it would take the entire class dressed in leather jackets and greased back hair to see Ryan dance? After we finished reading The Outsiders, Miss Lambert made our class Outsiders themed party. We entertained each other with a dance contest. Also, who could forget studying for the Constitution test with Miss Goldberg or learning about body systems with Mr. Grabilovich in health class?
Now in our 8th grade year, ever since kindergarten, we've been looking forward to being 8th graders and finally being top dogs in the school. There are many amazing privileges that come with being an 8th grader, but there are also as many responsibilities. We have learned to set a good example for students in lower grades, so we are always on our best behavior, or at least try to be. This school year on Halloween, when we were sitting in our costumes eating lunch, Jamil suddenly jumped on the table in his banana suit and sang, "It's peanut butter cheddar time," while playing the song on some speakers he had brought to school. His consequence? Well, the yellow slip he received matched his costume perfectly. But for many weeks afterward, Jamil's style made the talk of the school. Another privilege of being in 8th grade is the annual field trip to David Pierce Shakespeare Theater with Miss Lambert and Miss Jacobson. This year we went to see A Midsummer's Night Dream, where we watched Thisbe, Puck, and the Wall steal the show, especially when Puck almost fell from the rafters to land on Miss Jacobson. Of course, we will never forget Miss Lambert's failed attempts of drawing. One time, what we thought was a squirrel was actually her rendition of a mockingbird. She took her criticism of her artwork well.
We have many teachers and staff members who we would like to acknowledge for the expertise they provided us over the years. Gracias para todos. Tú eres un maestro increíble. Ms. Seco, we appreciate your musical expertise over the years and will always remember Mississippi, Utah. A special thanks to you, Miss Glass and Ms. Fishman, for their technological assistance and patience with us. Thank you, Mr. Vincent, for always making PE a fun and enjoyable experience. Ms. Garneau, thank you for helping us explore the wonder of independent reading. Our creativity blossomed with the guidance of Miss L and Miss Hanson. A special thanks to you, Ms. Forsek and Ms. Feldheim, for helping us with our reading and our speech. We would also like to thank Ms. Testa and Ms. Alexander for always giving us our snacks and letting us in when we were late.
Throughout our years at Bannockburn, each of us has had our ups and downs. We excelled and we struggled. Yet these experiences have helped us get to where we are today and shaped us into the young men and women that are here before you this evening.
Thank you. Each year, Deerfield High School sends a staff member over to welcome our class, and tonight we're happy to welcome Miss Liz Robertson. She is chair of the World Language Department at Deerfield High School. Should I say buenas noches, or ni hao, or bonjour, or even shalom. Those are the languages obviously represented in our department, and I very much look forward to seeing you through the halls, perhaps even meeting me that way. And I'm really looking forward to seeing you 4 years from now at your graduation in 2018 from Deerfield High School. Congratulations. Two of our student council officers will talk about looking forward after their years at Bannockburn School. I'd like to introduce to you Ariel Karish and Sky Westfall.
The so-called father of English literature and great poet Geoffrey Chaucer once said, "All good things must come to an end." It's a well-known and true statement, especially because Jay-Z put it in a rap, but it doesn't make leaving any easier. I came to Bannockburn School only 3 years ago as a 6th grader. One unique quality about our school is its small population. I moved from a class where I knew about 10% of my classmates' names to Bannockburn, where many students know the names of every single student. So when I walked into the classroom on my first day, I wasn't really expecting to be welcomed. But Bannockburn opened its arms and I walked into the safe bubble that I now know today. And being at Bannockburn School is great. It has prepared us for the present, but now we must ask ourselves if we are ready. The answer is not in the textbook, and Google or Siri will not know the answer. This is one question that the answer is, like Mr. Gabb says, we will have to figure it out for ourselves.
Thankfully, there have been hints and pushes to guide us along the way. For example, there will be homework like never before in high school, but none of us will sweat it because Bannockburn made sure that annotating is now a second nature. And the reading is going to be challenging, deep, and coded in verses, but we are already fluent in the language of the bard. While other freshman students at DHS will be trying to decipher the first page of a Shakespearean play, the 12 of us will be watching the play in our heads and hearing Mrs. Lambert's voice as we read. And while our future classmates may cry over the tragedy of Romeo and Juliet, we will share laughter because we know that William Shakespeare understood human nature, and in addition to his grasp on people, he can be somewhat naughty. Although we grew here in a small environment, our literary adventures never had any walls, at least none without crevices to whisper through, like Pyramus and Thisbe. Among grammar lessons and vocabulary expansions, our years ahead will be looked upon in a new light. This brings us to the discussion of high school socially. As Christian and Alex explained, the highest number of students that this class has had was 20 people. Now that class is graduating with 12 kids. 12, moving on to a class of what, 450 students, give or take a few? So why aren't we totally socially awkward? It's a great question, and the answer really is the teachers and similar advantages that a small school has. In DHS, teachers will have to deal with 450 students, making it almost impossible to have a close relationship with their students. And for us, it's going to be weird. There is no way we could have gone through school only surrounded by 11 other people. It forced us to bond with teachers. I can't count how many times we've had lunch with Mrs. Emery, laughed with Miss Corella, hung out with Mrs. Hughes and Mrs. Fishman, fiesta with Senora Bay, fist bumped Mr. Williams, Whitman, and hung out with Mrs. Goldberg, Mrs. Lampert, and Mrs. Seco, all of whom gave us a completely different way to look at life, and truly became our mentors and friends, making us more mature than some of our future peers who weren't given the opportunity of a close student-teacher relationship.
Another unique aspect and privilege of the Bannockburn life is technology. Starting from very young ages, we have had our own laptops and even iPads. We use these for online textbooks, learning applications, reading, and educational fun. Just recently, we used an iPad application as a 3D brain, labeled with anatomy and patient cases. We saw inside a brain, and not many 8th graders can say the same. Our generation is nicknamed the generation of technology. Nowadays, we are surrounded by treeless apples, Windows, Androids, and so much more. Everything is updating and being replaced, so it's important that we go with the flow of change. Because of the hard work of Bannockburn School, special shout out to Mrs. Glass and Mrs. Fishman, all of us will run into a world of tangled wires, knowledgeable enough to undo the knots. Although Bannockburn School is a very small school with very few kids, there are still some advantages to being in a small classroom. Yes, sometimes we all wish that there were more kids, but at the end of the day, us 12 is more than enough. Since most of us have been together since kindergarten, we all know each other extremely well. Over these past 3 years, I have grown the strongest relationships with these 12 people, and I know they feel the same. After we go on to high school, we might all go our separate ways, but I know that if I'm ever struggling with anything, I can always call one of you guys and ask, and you guys got my back. It's amazing how close we all are and how much we can trust one another. These are the types of friendships that will last forever. Another benefit besides forming lifelong relationships is that since we are in such a small classroom, we can get so much more individual attention from the teachers. And this has helped me so much. We all have had the advantage of being one of 12 kids, give or take a few, in a classroom. And since our classroom is so small, the teacher has enough time to help every single student during the class period. And I know I speak for all of us when I say that getting so much assistance from the teachers has helped us tremendously.
One last thank you to the school board and administration for overseeing our education, and to the faculty who we have grown close to, and for the technology handed to us, the friendships made, and the knowledge we acquired in our time here. Outside the Bannockburn bubble are wonders we cannot even begin to imagine and can't wait to explore. So we're going to start at Deerfield High School. Sure, Deerfield is only like a block away, but we aren't going to get there slowly. We are going to jump, and this class will do it together. Once we get our diplomas and have graduated officially, every relative is going to ask, are you nervous or are you scared? The short answer is no, because for the first time in 9 years, we are putting our trust in ourselves, and that trust is what will help us walk down that aisle and only look forward.
Did you maybe skip over Grant? I'm just not willing to admit yet that I need glasses. So at this time, I'm really happy to introduce to you Grant Reichenbach. Grant graduated on Tuesday night from Deerfield High School. He is a graduate of Bannockburn School from 2010. Next year, he will be attending Miami University in Oxford, Ohio. So welcome, Grant.
Good evening, everyone. First, I would like to thank Mrs. Lambert and Ms. Barnes for inviting
Nice
us.
place here. Okay, now what you will be waiting for, the awarding of the diplomas. Sydney Itkin. Ariella Jules Karish. Jimmy C. Fufus. Ryan Schretzman Medich. James Scott Johnson. Jamil Samer Fakori. Sky Monet Westfall. Jonathan W. Leahy. Alexander K. Valkness. Brittany Shayna Smithson. Christian Michael Reichenbach. And Emily Deborah Kahn. Well, graduates, it's hard to believe that 9 years ago, most of you entered Bannockburn School together for the first time. And now here we are, you're all grown up, graduating and ready to go on to high school. I, on the other hand, didn't think I had aged a bit until last Friday when a first grader was browsing through a 2006 yearbook when you were in first grade, and she said, "Miss Barnes, you look so much younger in this picture." Out of the mouths of babes. Besides the fact that your parents and I have a few more wrinkles or gray hairs, watching you through this 9-year journey has been rewarding for everyone that knows and loves you. You are just one of those exceptional groups, and each of you have contributed to Bannockburn School in so many different ways. Working hard in your classes, sharing your gifts and talents, and showing strong positive leadership to the younger students in the school makes us wish we could just hold on to you for just a little bit longer. You leave us with memories of your success in the classroom, on the volleyball and basketball courts, the soccer fields, the debate chambers, and on the stage. And your dedication to service learning has been admirable over the last 3 years. You all have had so many proud moments. I know you join me in thanking the exceptional teachers and staff of Bannockburn School that I am so proud to work with for their commitment and dedication to you over the last 9 years. And I'd like to ask all past and present teachers and staff of Bannockburn School to please stand so that we can all acknowledge you. We'd like to take this time to say goodbye to the families whose youngest child is graduating from Bannockburn School. Some of you, this is your 5th child. You've been here for many years. We thank you, all of you, for your support over the years, and we will miss you. Graduates, we hope that you will look back on your Bannockburn School years with fond memories. Follow your heart as you head off to Deerfield High School. Please use your best judgment and make safe, healthy choices. Confident that you are ready to take this exciting step to high school, we sadly say farewell. For tonight's celebration, we honor you for your many accomplishments. Congratulations. Where's Mr. Work? We're going to take a quick picture now. We didn't get a graduation picture for the wall of the school before the ceremony, so before they go off and we can't get them back, we're going to ask you all to stand and put your diplomas on your chairs.
Scooch close, close. There you go.
Can you get them all in one row?
Just, sir. One, two, three.
Special thank you to Mrs. Fishman for the outstanding video that we're about to watch, and thank you to Mrs. Lampert for organizing and coordinating graduation. Thank you, Mrs. Seco and the school band for sharing your musical gifts with us this evening. At this time, I'd like to present to you the graduates of 2014. Teachers, we'd like to ask you to move to the lobby after the video.